Hello and welcome to the session Developmental Guidance. Introduction. The student in the school is an active agent who is learning, changing and developing with each of the interaction with the environment. Such a student presents the challenge of being understood. This is both an issue of self-understanding and an issue of how others understand your actions. Everyone needs appreciative understanding to establish meaningful interactions with environment. Understanding, respecting and accepting each student within the framework of school is a massive task. Guidance programs respond to these different needs through dividing the many interactions within the school environment into two, need-based and problem-based. The need-based guidance is called developmental guidance and problem-based guidance is called remedial guidance. Developmental guidance tries to understand and engage with the needs of human beings. It employs complex theoretical insights on needs. According to these theories, human beings represent dynamic organisms that work with the goal of reducing internal tensions through need satisfaction. All of us strive for homeostasis or a kind of equilibrium related to needs. The satisfactory fulfillment of needs leads to the movement to next level of needs, which ultimately contributes to the development and growth of the organism. Through providing environment that is conducive for growth, developmental guidance encourages the positive resolution of developmental tasks and act as a facilitating agent in finding a person's innate potential. The goal of developmental guidance is an individual who can integrate personal and social needs successfully. Understanding and responding to needs. It is important to understand needs to understand human personality and development. Need-based approach to human nature helps to build a bridge between the incommensurable debates that treat human nature in two fundamentally different ways. These debates vary from treating human nature as fixed to human nature as flexible. The basic assumption of this approach is that human beings share some common needs with other animals and its satisfaction is crucial to survival. The goal-directed behavior of human beings has an indispensable link to these needs, and it is not possible to treat human beings only as byproduct of culture. Nature provides a very strong base to which culture responds. Education, being a manifestation of human culture, can act as a platform where the nature-culture debate can take place in an effective way. In this debate, the needs emerge as a crucial determinant of the dialogue and can influence the development of human personality and growth. So, needs demand careful attention and systematic responses from school environment. Developmental guidance can be considered as an attempt to provide this attention in an organized and structured way. Developmental guidance works with a scientific definition of needs. Gardner and Murphy express this in the following way. The ultimate elements in personality structure are the needs or tensions, and they are interrelated by means of the functional connections between regions which permit the spread of these tensions. The result is a tension system whose lawful structure is expressed in terms of the relative strengths of tensions and the relative rigidity of barriers to their diffusion. One positive aspect of this definition is that It allows the conception of human system as dynamic one which works towards the reduction of tension through the satisfaction of needs. Personality can now be considered as the aggregate of activities brought about by the impact of needs upon the organism. When the person strives for reduction of tension through need satisfaction, different degrees and kinds of behavior can emerge. It starts from the crying behavior of the infant. The complexity of behaviors increases with age. From eating, drinking and sleeping, the infant slowly starts exploring the environment. These behaviors are attributed to different needs. Some psychologists have come up with a differentiation of these needs and have established a hierarchy of needs. And they have observed that there exist many complex interactions between needs expressed immediately and the needs that lie elsewhere. Sometimes the present need obscures the deeper unrecognized need. This is an insight which is great relevance in the classroom situation. For instance, a child who has been engaging in destructive behavior cannot be understood through analyzing the immediate environment. The reason may be prolonged period of parental neglect or some similar reasons where the child's need for attention was compromised. The child may be trying to compensate it now through destructive behavior. Abraham Maslow has come up with a hierarchy of needs to understand the complexity of the human personality. According to Maslow, needs can be divided into primary, secondary and tertiary and can be arranged in a pyramid model where primary needs form the base, secondary needs form the middle layer and tertiary needs form the top of the pyramid. Primary needs are mainly physiological needs and safety needs. Secondary needs are belongingness needs and esteem needs. Tertiary needs are self-actualization needs. Physiological needs are basic needs related to physical well-being. Hunger, thirst and sleep form the basic needs. Lack of satisfaction of any of these will create tension within the organism and disrupt the homeostasis of the system. Homeostasis is a state of equilibrium that can be attained through the satisfaction of the needs, drives and instincts. The environment always plays many challenges that can upset the homeostasis of an organism. They present stressful situations characterized by lack of sleep, fatigue, physical pain, excessive heat or cold and the like. If the primary needs remain unsatisfied, the organism cannot survive and move to the next stage. Once all the physiological needs are met, the individual appears to seek for such a place as he can feel secure. For an infant, the presence of mother's body is the ultimate security. But as the age increases, he or she would actively explore the environment and new needs for security emerges out of the new interactions. If the child in the early years of development is surrounded by secure environment, this can affect or arrest the development of the child. The next level of needs is belongingness needs. This involves the need for love and the need for esteem. When both physiological needs and safety needs are satisfied successfully, there arises the need for care and affection of other human beings. If the environment around the individual does not provide the care and affection the individual is looking for, the individual will end up in loneliness. Loneliness can seriously affect one's social and emotional functioning and mental health. We all need a certain degree of intimacy and closeness with fellow human beings to function effectively. Since no human action happens in social vacuum, we all flourish with proper care and attention and can strive for the attainment of better goals. Lonely children are emotionally vulnerable and most likely face failures in situations involving team effort or group work. On the contrary, those who are loved and cared won't be quickly upset and show greater stability when faced with difficult situations. Through fostering healthy social interaction and inculcating the values of care and affection, children can move to the next step in the ladder where they can strive to fulfill their inner capacities in a socially desirable and culturally acceptable way. The next level in need hierarchy is that of esteem needs. It is the need which makes people seek not only companionship but also respect within the social group they are moving. Extreme and risk-taking behaviors among children and adolescent age groups can be explained in terms of esteem needs. For instance, jumping from the height is an action normally a child will be frightened to do, but a child performs this to get the respect of friends. In jobs and in social relationships too, people strive to get respect. The longing for admiration and praise appears universal. It is not a need expressed or experienced by post-industrial revolution societies. It has been expressed in all human societies irrespective of the variations in geographical area and cultural differences. It is one need that gives an internal direction and motivation to human behavior. Though all other needs have these characteristics, one can see that need for esteem has no physiological correlates associated with it. Carried to the extremes, desire for esteem can lead to harmful effects. But many cultures have codified laws of conduct aimed at curtailing excessive attempts to grab care, attention, and respect among fellow members. Once the lower level needs are met satisfactorily, the individual starts expressing the need for creative work. Maslow places it at the top of the hierarchy of needs and calls it need for self-actualization. As the name suggests, this need is characterized by attempts to actualize or realize oneself. Self being an enigmatic concept, the need to realize it reveals many layers to it. It is not simple creativity or the need to make something. This is a need where human beings face some fundamental questions related to the inner life and potential hidden inside each one of us. This need goes beyond the esteem and other needs which find a social medium for its satisfaction. Self-actualization needs are many. The peculiarity of human beings as a species, as it requires great levels of thinking and higher levels of cognition. This need is not restricted to genius or exceptional individuals. Each one of us has this need, and if not satisfied properly, it will result in frustration. The individuals striving for growth will be hindered. This view and hierarchization of needs provides some useful conceptual foundations to understand the needs of children in school setting, from where it emerges and how it can be satisfied optimally. The next section deals with some methods of developmental guidance. Methods used in developmental guidance. The basic objective of developmental guidance, as discussed earlier, is preventing breakdown and developing the growth potential inherent in the child. This twin objective can be attained in the classroom through sticking to the methods advised by developmental guidance. This guidance does not focus on problems, but focus on needs to avoid the emergence of problems. It believes that the performance of any child in any task will depend upon three things: the child himself, the task itself, and the situation. In the child, what a developmental guidance worker observes is his aptitudes, values, goals, general experience, and physical condition. A task defined with the interest it can generate, the level of difficulty and usefulness. A situation can be defined with interaction among the members in the team, tension, motivation, and anxiety. Based on these three factors, the essentials of developmental guidance are listed out as the following. Expect the best of each student. Most children can do what adults expect of them. A teacher should not interfere with a child's attempt to do something and should not do it for him or her. Teacher should only be a facilitating agent. Encourage each child. An encouraging guidance program believes in each student and respects them. Encouragement is different from reward and praise. Encouragement is providing an atmosphere conducive for learning and exploration. Reward and praise can be used as part of this. Listen more. A development guidance worker should listen well and should listen carefully. Rather than giving empty instructions or generalized negative feedbacks, a teacher can spend time to listen each one of them. This would provide better access to the overall functioning of the child in school and home environment. This requires attentive and active listening. Observe behavior. A student's behavior must be understood within the context of the behavior. What is it trying to achieve through a particular behavior? Whether it is repeated in similar contexts? What are the sources of reinforcements of that particular behavior? All these factors can contribute in making a map of the conduct of the student, which will further help in orienting the conduct towards more productive areas. Group evaluation. As the child grows up, he or she expands the social life to circles beyond home and classroom. In the classroom itself, the child finds the peer group more acceptable than the teacher. So, group evaluation and criticism becomes an effective technique where the peer group is given the duty to observe and evaluate the child's conduct. The feedback from the peer group is usually accepted without much resistance. Imparting study skills. Effective study habits contribute to the academic success and thus improve the confidence and achievement-oriented behaviors. So, imparting study skills is an important area of developmental guidance. Sometimes, teachers can incorporate this to classroom training. Sometimes, school counselors can give special sessions on study skills. Both gifted students and average students benefit from these sessions. It has been observed that most often underachievement is due to lack of planning and organization and due to the absence of study skills. Students can benefit hugely from inculcating proper study habits and proper time management. Extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities are as important as curricular activities. These activities provide a platform for students to express their talents. A good developmental guidance program includes several such events in which a class or number of classes can come together and organize the event. This would also contribute to the development of planning and organizational capacities of the students. Such events are also helpful to make the school life colorful and fun-filled so that students won't find it monotonous. Venues of self-expression are rare in mainstream school curriculum, which is designed to serve the purposes of masses. Extracurricular sessions provide opportunities for self-expression too. Outcome of developmental guidance. The ideal outcome of developmental guidance is development of an individual into a mature human being who is capable of integrating the social and personal aspects and functions optimally in a changing world. A mature person must be aware of not only his abilities, but also his limitations and resources available in the environment. A mature individual is consistent, insightful, self-confident, productive, and socially responsible. These are some adult criteria which needs adaptation to understand the maturing individual. The conceptual framework provided by Erik H. Erikson through advancement of psychosocial stages of development is useful to understand and evaluate the outcome of developmental guidance. It starts with the sense of trust. It develops in the first years of life. Once trust is established, the infant starts working with ideas of self and other. He or she understands and recognizes important others and tries to respond to them, and in the process asserts the developing notion of autonomy. The successful resolution of this stage results in self-control. In the next stage, the child actively explores the environment and establish relations with living and non-living things. This is the period of enterprise, imagination, creativity, and fantasy. The child enters school at this stage. If all the previous stages are successfully resolved, the child shows high motivation for learning and other activities. He or she would show a sense of accomplishment. This is the stage where preoccupation with fantasy subsides and child looks for real tasks, and completion of it gives him or her pleasure. With the onset of adolescence, another stage of development begins, in which the child expresses a sense of identity. This stage is defined by questions related to self, society, social roles, worth, etc. If the child has resolved the previous stages successfully, this transition phase will be handled smoothly. Otherwise, this is the period where students show oppositional tendencies and delinquent behavior. Developmental guidance usually pays special attention to this phase for a successful resolution of this phase. The next stage is characterized by a developing sense of intimacy in which the person looks forward for emotionally rewarding friendships and also experience sexual attraction. Love, inspiration, spontaneity, and warmth are the desirable outcome of this stage. The final component of these stages is the sense of integrity. With the successful resolution of all developmental stages and tasks, the individual develops a healthy personality characterized by a sense of integrity. Such a person will be able to accept his individual life cycle as meaningful. He will take up the responsibility for his own life and establish a sense of comradeship and shared humanitarian concern with fellow human beings. He will be functioning effectively and without generating conflicts in groups and in teams. He won't find it difficult to assess his worth individually and as a social actor, and works in tandem with many other social factors and historical contingencies. Let's summarize the main ideas in this unit. Developmental guidance tries to understand and engage with the needs of human beings. It employs complex theoretical insights on needs. The most comprehensive theory among them is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. According to these and many other theories, human beings represent dynamic organisms that work with goal of reducing internal tensions through need satisfaction. All of us strive for homeostasis, or a kind of equilibrium related to needs. The satisfactory fulfillment of needs leads to the movement to next level of needs, which ultimately contributes to the development and growth of the organism. Through providing environment that is conducive for growth, developmental guidance encourages the positive resolution of developmental tasks and act as a facilitating agent in finding a person's innate potential. The goal of developmental guidance is an individual who can integrate personal and social needs successfully. Now, you can try to answer the questions given here. What are the outcomes of successful developmental guidance? What are primary, secondary, and tertiary needs in Maslow's hierarchy? What are the methods of developmental guidance? What are the characteristics of esteem needs? What is meant by self-actualization need? Now, you can refer the books for further understanding. Guidance in Today's School, Mortensen, G. Donald, and Schmuller, Ellen, M. 1962, published by John Wiley and Sons, New York. Guidance in Classroom, written by Strang Ruth and Morris Glynn, 1964, published by Collier and Macmillan Limited, London. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.